everybody, welcome to the Dunc Shot, brought to you by Cadillac of New Orleans. We're at the midway point of the 2015 college football season. Time to evaluate and give a letter grade to where the two programs, the LSU Tigers and the Tulane Green Wave, are at this midway point. If you read NOLA.com, if you're a regular reader, and I hope you are, you probably have read my crystal ball columns that I do each year projecting the LSU and Tulane seasons. And so let's look at that projection and compare where we're at, the reality of where we're at the midway point. Okay, let's start with the Tulane Green Wave. Tulane is 2-4. In my crystal ball column, I thought they'd be 1-5 right now. So you'd think I'd give them a high grade for being better than we anticipated, but I'm actually going to give the Tulane Green Wave a C-, and I can't really go above that right now because I don't like what I'm seeing on the field. Yes, they did beat Central Florida. I projected them to lose that game. That was one of many 50-50 kind of coin flip games that I thought were going to be critical for Curtis Johnson and his staff this year to see if they could get to a winning season. They won that game handily, but otherwise they've been pretty disappointing. Look, I didn't expect them to beat Duke or Georgia Tech. I don't think anybody did. Up at Temple, a very tough game. Temple is going to go to a bowl this year. And obviously Houston is a top 25 team that's really come on under first-year coach Tom Herman. But the fact is they haven't been competitive in these games at all for the most part. And I think more importantly, more disturbing for Tulane fans is some of the same problems that hounded this team in recent years are reoccurring. Special teams problems, penalties, lack of offensive creativity, and it's all snowballing on the team in the second half of games. They're getting worn down and getting blown out. I think people want to see this team be more competitive and be more, I think, disciplined on both sides of the ball. We haven't seen that so far, so it's hard for me to give the Tulane Green Wave more than a C- right now. Now, on the bright side, things get a little easier in the second half. I actually predicted Tulane would win their final 4 games of the season to finish 5-7, so they can still do that, but they're going to have to play a lot better in the second half than they did in the first half. All right, moving on to LSU, a lot better grade for the LSU Tigers. Got to give them an A right now. I projected them to be unbeaten at this point, and they are. It's hard to quibble with much on the LSU season so far, other than maybe their special teams need addressing. They reared their head again against Florida, their ugly head against Florida. You give up a punt return for a touchdown and muff a punt inside your own 20, gift wrap 14 points to Florida, a good team, and you end up with a tight game in the fourth quarter. You got to pull out late. That game shouldn't have been as close as it was, but otherwise we're just picking nits right here with the LSU Tigers. I like the development of Brandon Harris. I think the staff has done a great job with him. The offensive line's dominant. The receiving core is very deep. And Kevin Steele's defense, I think, is playing much better than the units we've seen under John Chavis in previous years. In fact, I think that's an upgrade for LSU. This team is more than just Leonard Fournette. Yes, Leonard Fournette's having a breakout campaign and is clearly the bell cow for this team. What an incredible year he's having. Great work by Frank Wilson and his staff to get him to drop weight. He's much more agile, making many more tacklers miss in the open field, something he didn't do as a freshman. But this team has more weapons than just Fournette, and they're going to need them coming up here as they have some big SEC West games, starting with the first weekend in November when they go to Tuscaloosa to play Alabama. I had this team unbeaten at this point, and they are unbeaten, but I still have to give them an A because I think they've even exceeded my expectations for how well they're playing. All right, that's it for the Daily Dunc Shot. Be back again here Friday with my Fearless Forecast. Everybody have a great day.